Most small business owners don't struggle because they lack effort. They struggle because they lack clarity. My name is Adam Diaz, and I've spent nearly 2 decades building, selling, and advising small businesses. This platform exists for one reason: to bring clarity to chaos and insight to confusion. Only what moves your business forward. Here, we talk real strategy, real numbers, and real leadership decisions that actually make your business profitable. If you care about margin and not just the hype, this podcast is for you. Welcome to Margin. All right, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. So you guys are young entrepreneurs, which I super love. I'm losing more and more faith in the traditional academic system, especially higher education. I mean, it's necessary when it's necessary, but I think whenever people can be entrepreneurial and creative at a young age, it's super, super powerful and great for the community. So kudos to you guys. Yeah. And again, thanks for coming on the podcast. Yeah. Why don't you take a minute and we'll start with you and introduce yourself a little bit and talk about your business, and then I'll let you do the same.
Okay. My name is Noah Aldinger. My parents are entrepreneurs. They started Allied Automotive. And ever since since like 6th grade, I've always been into business. I've always been into real estate and adventure. I'm kind of like a adrenaline junkie. And I started my first business when I was around 8 years old. I did door-to-door sales knocking for like candy bars. And ever since that, I've always been into entrepreneur, like business stuff. I mainly started to really care about it in 6th grade. And I remember when I was like, I don't know, in 7th grade, I would like talk about real estate with all my friends. Like, Noah, you're so old. You're so unk right now. And, you know, it's always been a passion of mine. I recently started a business with my partner over here. We are doing a detailing company, and we're eventually just going to take the principles from this company that we're learning, how to deal with employees, how to manage money, and eventually apply it to other businesses as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Cool. Yeah. My name is Caden Reynolds, and I'm doing a car detailing business with my partner right here. And the goal that we're trying to get out of it is soak in as much information as possible so we could use that experience. So I'm just trying to network with people right now.
Good.
Yeah, because it'll give you really good leverage in the future.
And are you both 18?
17.
We're both 17.
Both 17, mm-hmm. Almost 18.
We're about 2 weeks apart from each other. We're close in age.
Fantastic. Something that I love that you guys said is that in some ways this car detailing business is a stepping stone business. I think that's really intelligent because business and running a business is a skill all unto itself. Mm-hmm. And it's actually a piece that even people that are seasoned business owners miss. People think, well, I'm a good mechanic, right? So I can own a mechanic shop. Yeah. Your dad is a good friend of mine, Caleb Aldinger, and owner of Allied Automotive, like you said. Great mechanic and a good businessman too. You know, he's built that thing, started that business a while back and grown it to be a great company that employs multiple people. So there's more to running a business, a mechanic shop, than being a good mechanic. Yeah. And the skills in business are very transferable. My first business was actually doing accounting work. So I was a bookkeeper, tax preparer, business consultant. And that was the thing I went to school to learn how to do. But I always loved just being a business owner. I always said that if I knew how to fix shoes, my first business would have been a shoe repairman. You know, I love being a business owner. I happen to know how to do accounting, so that was my first business. Right. But it's cool that you guys, just picked auto detailing. It's a place you can hustle. It's a job that a lot of people don't want to do. Yeah. And you're saying we're going to learn all the skills of business, marketing, networking, management, leadership, operations, costs, accounting, QuickBooks, taxes, planning, strategic planning, capital budgeting. We're going to learn all that stuff in a small, localized space. And then heck, you guys might be able to sell that business down the road and roll that into your next business. Right. And so it's a great thing that you guys are doing. It's a principle I believe in. And, kudos to you. I love it. Yeah. So This is a coaching podcast. My goal is to help you guys solve a problem or learn something and walk away a little bit smarter, maybe 1% better than you came in here. So I'm going to open it up to you first and say, what is a challenge or question that you have in your business that we can dive into together?
Yeah. Can you want to go first or?
Well, do you have a question in mind?
I do, but I want to see if you have one first.
Well, not directly tied into what he asked, but you could go first. I'll have to think about it.
So right now we're kind of developing operational systems for, we want to be organized and managed. So when we have employees, we want some form of schedule. We want some form of routine that is going to be in place where nothing gets screwed up.
Okay.
And one of our things that we're trying to figure out right now is for customers, a routine for that. What would be the smart way of getting new customers and having them stay because we're kids and it's harder to trust kids when you're dealing with something like a car. What do you think is a good stepping stone into getting into better marketing in a cheap, affordable way that's not going to put a dent in our spreadsheet?
Yeah, great question. So some just basic 101 advice is that people buy from people they know, like, and trust. They have to know who you are. Awareness is step one. But more than awareness, they have to like you. So I like these boys. I like these young men. I like what they're doing. And then the last piece is the piece you hit on is they have to trust you. Mm-hmm. And of those three hurdles, the trust is going to be the biggest hurdle because getting people to know about you, that's not too hard, right? We can do flyers. We can do door hangers. We can tell our friends to tell our friends. We can do social media posts. There's lots of ways to get people to know about you. And you guys are likable enough, right? People are going to like you. They're going to like the fact that you're young entrepreneurs,
right?
Right? You've probably already generated some business just because people are like, hey, these boys are hustling. I want to help them, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to get the like factor easy as well just because you're young. The trust factor, as you rightly pointed out, is going to be where the gap is because these cars are oftentimes expensive. I mean, every car is expensive, right? Mm-hmm. So here's my $20, $30, $40, $50,000 car. Do they know what they're doing with the chemicals?
Right.
Can I let them drive it to wherever that is that they're going to clean it? All the things, right? Mm-hmm. Are they even going to do a good job? Because car detailing is not cheap, several $100s. And am I going to pay this several $100s and then be in an awkward situation where they're not going to do what they said they're going to do, blah, 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 right? So the trust factor is the thing you need to fill. And with, I would say every business, this is true, but with yours especially, you're going to build trust through customer recommendations. You're going to build trust through customer testimonials. You're going to build trust through 5-star reviews. So how many cars have you detailed so far?
About... for the last 2 months, maybe 30, 25, around there.
And do you have 25 5-star reviews?
We need to set that up soon. Yeah.
You got to set that up. Okay. Yeah. So right now you're living on the trust of friends and family and friends of friends, right? And that's great. That's a great way to get any business off the ground. But you need to have a system in place that after the end of every service, you get a written review. Okay, you need to get 5-star reviews from people like me. I had my car detailed by these guys, by the way, and they did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I'm actually a stickler. Let's pause for a minute and say I'm a stickler about car detailers. Mm-hmm. I've had some that are really good, and I've had some that really are not good. And you guys are on my really good list. I will come back to you guys often. I like a clean car, and so definitely recommend. You guys did a great job on my vehicle.
Thank you.
But so 5-star reviews are huge to build trust. I would do a lot of 5-star, ask everybody for a 5-star review. There's a couple ways you do this. One is you always ask, would you leave me a 5-star review? Not, would you leave me a review? Now, they always have the opportunity to go leave you whatever review they want. But you always ask, would you leave me a 5-star review? And if they say, this does a couple of things. One is if they have an issue, they're more likely to bring it up right in that moment. So if you hear any sense of hesitancy, or if they have the guts to tell you no, you can solve that problem right there.
Right.
Right. So it's like, oh, and hey, it sounds like maybe you're not comfortable. Is there anything we could have done better or anything we can still fix? Actually, I wasn't really happy with the trunk. I feel like there's still a lot of dog hair back there. I am so sorry. Let me go back there and take care of that. We don't want to leave you any reason not to give us a 5-star review. If I go take care of that dog hair, would you leave a 5-star review? Yeah, I probably would. Right. Hey, you guys were slow. You said you were going to be here at 2 and you didn't come till 3:30. Kind of ruined my afternoon. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. We always want to provide the best service so that everybody leaves us a 5-star review without reservation. If we knock 50% off the price, would you consider that? Can we make it right by giving you a discount? And would you still leave us a 5-star review? Right. So by asking, will you leave us a 5-star review? You're giving them the opportunity to voice a complaint. And if they say yes, then they're kind of obligated to give you a 5-star review, because nobody's going to say, yeah, we'll leave you a 5-star review. And then they go on and be like, yeah, actually 4. Right. So you want those 5-star reviews. You don't want anything dragging that down. So never ask, will you leave me a review? Always ask, will you leave me a 5-star review? And then you need to have a card or a flyer or something with a QR code that takes them straight to it, and you have them do it right there. So you're taking your credit card payment, you're taking your cash. Would you leave me a 5-star review? And you have it right there. You take all the friction out of the process, because it's honestly kind of a pain to leave reviews. And so you just want to make it as easy as possible. Scan this and then go straight to the Google review page and leave that review. 5-star reviews are great. How are you guys doing with before and after photos?
We take photos before and after every single car, just because, my dad mentioned a good point. Like, let's say they already had a scratch on their car and they want to claim that it was ours. So ever since he told us that, we're like freaking out. So we're like recording the whole car.
100%. That's really important.
Yeah. So it's kind of what we do. Like, if they ever accuse us of like, hey, I had this video here before we did the car. There's a scratch already there.
Yep.
And then, it makes it harder for them not to sue or try to get us in trouble.
The nice thing about before and after videos or photos is it shows your credibility, right? So again, what are the 3 things you need for sales? You got to know about you. They got to like you. They got to trust. Trust is the gap we're kind of trying to close. So trust is going to be built by, hey, here's 30 cars that I've already done. Throw them on your website. Throw them on your social media. Okay, those cars look pretty nice, especially the ones that turn out good. Spread it around. When you're bidding a new client or telling them, hey, let me show you, I actually have done a black truck just like this one. You're going to get more cars. You can send them and give them the vision of what their car could look like.
Yeah, you can get more specific with the car. Like, hey, I done these exact same car like 5 days ago. I'll show you what we could do.
Yep.
I can give you a recommendation, a good quote if it needs a polish or.
Exactly. Yeah. So this builds a lot of trust.
Right.
And then lastly, I would get video testimonials. You guys are both young. You got your phones. Be like, if people seem friendly and they'd be willing to do something like that, just whip out the phone and be like, hey, would you mind if I got a quick video testimonial of you standing by your car? I think give them a compliment. Hey, you're super nice. I really appreciate working with you. And your car turned out amazing. Would you mind if I got a quick video testimonial of you?
Wow.
And then boom, they stand by the car. You got a video testimonial. Now you put that on Facebook. You've got pictures of the work you do. You've got video testimonies of other people. They go look up your business. You've got 25 5-star reviews. Boom, trust is built, right? You've done it, and you're marketing now. Now, any marketing effort you have is going to break through that barrier of distrust because you've built the trust with the community.
This is really fascinating. Yeah. I think that kind of helps, like, I wouldn't say like manipulate, but it helps like structure the whole thing when you're doing like the reviews. Like, you're kind of, no one wants to like go out of their comfort zone to do that, but you kind of put them in that position to make it okay for them to do that.
Yes, 100%. And you said it earlier yourself, right? Processes. Everything in your business needs a process.
Right.
And so this is what we call your review process. So when you get to the end of a job, every time, whether it's you guys as the owners or your technicians, this is the process we follow. You get out this flyer, you ask for your review. When you ask for a review, you ask for it with this script or approximately this script.
Right.
Hey, would you be willing to leave me a 5-star review?
Yeah. And then you can kind of read their face.
You read their face, you
yeah.
answer concerns right there on the spot. And this is part of the training for the techs to make sure you guys are delivering outstanding service that's going to be repeatable over time, right? So this is just one example of one sliver of the business where you build a process. And then if you follow that process, it's going to pay huge dividends in your business.
Wow.
I'll tell you one more as a sneaky one. I don't have a really good way to implement this, but I've heard about it. Okay. You have a system, and I think, usually the bigger marketing companies will implement this. I've never used this system, but I think it's genius. After every customer, you send them the link via email that says, what's your star rating? That's not a direct Google link, though. It's an internal link. If they click anything less than 5 stars, it just takes them to a form where they can voice their complaints, but it's internal to your company. If they click 5 stars, it routes them to Google to leave the 5-star review on Google.
Oh, wow.
So this way, anybody that does leave a bad review is only leaving it for your internal growth, which is still legitimate. And a lot of times people just want a place to vent. So you send them an email link that says, hey, how is your service? Review our services. And they went terrible. 1 star, they click it, and then it says, oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. Explain. And then you give them the box, and they just cuss you out and say how terrible, blah, 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 blah. But then that email goes straight to you. You guys learn from it as business owners, and you're saved a 1-star review from Google. But if they click 5 stars, it goes to Google, which is where you want this 5-star reviews.
Wow.
So you guys are smart. Techie people probably, you can build a system like that, I'm sure, or the marketing companies will do that. Right. I personally have never done that for any of my companies. I just get 5-star reviews all the time. No, but I've heard of that strategy, and I think it's clever.
It is really clever, yeah.
So a cool thing you can do, reviews, they get manipulated. I don't think we should manipulate reviews. We want to be ethical for sure. Right. But that's a great way to allow people to vent, because what you ends up happening if you just leave the system to its own devices, like you guys have no reviews right now or just a few?
No reviews.
If you have no reviews right now, I guarantee your first review is going to be somebody that's unhappy. And that's not what you want, right? So, and you don't want your first Google review to be a 1-star because eventually you might make a mistake. You're human, right? Or they're just an unreasonable person that had unreasonable expectations. That happens too. So you get situations, but you don't want, if you already have 35 5-star reviews with people glowing recommendations and photos and blah, 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 and then that 1-star review comes in and hits, it's going to be a blip on the screen. If you have no reviews established and then that 1-star review hits, it's going to affect your business negatively, right? So be proactive about that. Get your Google business set up and the review process. And then again, go back to all your customers, because a lot of them at this point are still friends and family, people that would be just willing to give you a good review like myself,
right? And
say, hey, it'd really help my business out if you could leave me a 5-star review. Never say, hey, it'd really help my business out if you'd leave me a review. Always say 5-star. And a lot of people will do that for you.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I really do like that process. It reminds me of when I first started to understand sales more, and I learned it, like me and him did door to door. And a lot of the times when we were doing sales, we were just explaining what we were doing. But then we kind of learned this way where we would kind of trap them. Like we'll go up to them like, hey, we noticed that your lawn looks a little bit like messy. We didn't say it like that. We weren't trying to be rude, but we'd say, is there any possibility that you would be having any projects that are going on out back that you don't want to do on a hot day on Sunday when you could be watching the Mariners? And then they'll be like, yeah, actually I do. I'm like, well, awesome. I'm in the neighborhood this week. Can I schedule you in on Wednesday at 12 o'clock? And it kind of traps them because they just admitted that they have work.
Right.
And then you give them a time and we ask, hey, does 12 o'clock work on Wednesday or 1 o'clock? Or like 3 o'clock work on Wednesday. And then they'll be like, you know what? Fine, I'll do it on 12 o'clock on Wednesday. It makes it harder for them to say no, basically. And once we started using that strategy, we got like, I don't know, we went from like 1% closure to like 75. It was insane.
Wow.
But yeah, that on one day.
On one day.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, but that's kind of like the thing that, the process that we're talking about. We want to learn more processes and systems like that, where it was just almost rehearsed, and we did it with everyone. And a lot of times people did have stuff they didn't want to do. They wanted to go hang out with the kids. They wanted to drink a nice brewski on a summer day, and And we would tell them that, like, hey, our job isn't just to provide services. We're also saving you time. We're saving you the luxury of being with family. And we could for sure just come at any time of the week. And since you have that project, let's do it on Wednesday. And it was just trap them there.
So many sales techniques that you used in there, and I love it. And you can use trap. It sounds immoral, but it's
Right.
really just persuasion.
Yeah.
And sales is persuasion. But really, what it is too is you're showing them the value,
Yeah.
right? Because you're not forcing them, you're not trapping them. But what you're doing is showing them the value of the thing that you're providing. Hey, wouldn't you rather be with your kids?
Right.
Hey, wouldn't you rather not do this on a 100-degree day?
Right.
You're showing them the problem by saying, hey, is there any jobs you need done around here? I noticed maybe this or that. So you're identifying the problem, and then you're showing them the solution.
Exactly.
And that gives them a lot more of a compelling reason to do it rather than just a cold call saying, hey, you got any work for me?
Right.
So lots of great sales tips there. I love that you guys have already experienced that. Every business you have, you're going to need to have some sales experience.
Right. Yeah.
Because ultimately you're bringing something to the market that has value that you can ultimately produce for less than what you're charging the customer.
Yeah.
And that's how you make a profit.
Right.
And so every business is going to need to have some extent of sales.
Yeah.
Whether you're leading a sales team or whether you're doing the sales yourself, a lot of times that is a job that stays with the owner. So great work on that.
Yeah. I had this quote. I want to read it to you. I want to know what you think about this. Because when I started getting into sales, I started realizing certain ways that you would posture yourself when you're talking to these people.
Okay.
Because sometimes I feel like a lot of people are very robotic with how they talk. They're not. I feel like we treat it as such like a formal thing, like a script almost, and it's not as like we're talking to another human. So I had this quote that I made. It says, if you treat someone like a customer, they'll treat you like a salesman. If you treat them like a friend, they'll buy like a friend. And the reason why, I say like a friend is because when I was doing the detailing business, a lot of my family friends said yes because I know them and they know me. And when you treat someone like someone to buy from or someone like a customer, then they're going to view you as a salesman. So once I learned that when I was doing lawn mowing, like I would be very relational. I'd be like, hey, I noticed that, you have your bikes out, and wouldn't it be so nice to just put off that one project that you don't want to do on a random day, on a Tuesday when you could be out playing with your kids? And they're like, yeah, that sounds actually really nice. And I said, well, let me get you in on Friday and I'll get that done for you. It'll be the burden away. And one of the reasons why I think that selling the luxury over the aesthetic of having a clean lawn or something is, I think so many salespeople, when they're selling their service, just tells like the outcome of having a clean lawn and never the luxury of not having to do it themselves, right?
Yeah, I mean, and really, you're hitting on you don't want to sell the product in the technical specs. You want to sell the outcome or the vision of what your life would be like with that product.
Right.
So you sell beauty products. You don't say, hey, this beauty product is great because it's got this chemical in it and it's made with this and blah blah blah. You say, hey, this beauty product will be great because it'll make you beautiful, right? You don't sell the product, you sell what the product produces,
right?
And this is super important for selling. But again, people get trapped into selling what they sell or describing what they sell.
Right.
Even with car detailing, it's like, well, we use this vacuuming process and we shampoo the car and we do a double whatever and we pull the. You can tell them all the details of the product, but they don't care.
Yeah, they really don't care.
They don't care. Yeah. What they want is to know, hey, your car is going to smell nice, it's going to be beautiful, and you're going to feel better driving it, and it's going to taking care of the car. You're going to treat it better. You're selling the outcome of what the product produces. And same thing, you hit the nail on the head with that. Is I'm not selling a clean yard. I'm selling free time with your kids.
Right.
Right. Yeah, and one's way more powerful, and people are willing to. Am I too cheap to spend $100 on my kids?
Yeah, exactly.
Versus, am I too cheap? To spend $100 on lawn? That seems like, I don't want. I can just mow my lawn myself.
Exactly.
Right. So brilliant. Love it.
Yeah.
Where do you guys want to go next? What other questions do you have?
I did have a question. So, I wanted to start specializing in exterior washes.
Okay.
Because I wanted to go business to business instead of just regular people most of the time.
All right.
So we could, kind of start stacking revenue, get more people in month by month. We make more money through memberships. So I was wondering, do you think that that would probably be a good idea right now? Like having him get the interior details, try to recruit people for that, and clients, while I try to get people and businesses for washing exterior.
Yeah, that's such a good question. So I want to start with the principle, and then I'll ask some clarifying questions.
Okay.
So in economics, when we grow, we have two ways of growing. There's more than two, but we talk about what's called economies of scale.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of that term? Economies of scale?
No, I haven't.
And then you have what's called economies of scope.
Mm.
A lot of people have heard of economies of scale. Economy of scale is when you get bigger from efficiencies doing the same thing. So, for example, economies of scale says as you wash more cars, you can become more efficient at it by having more specialized tools. Eventually, you'll have your own bay, right? And through economies of scale, that bay will help you become even more efficient and get even more cars through. Or a mechanic might have a car lift,
Right.
which helps with economies of scale because now you're not getting on the ground and rolling under every car. You just pull the car up, lift it up, do the work, put it down, go. That helps with economies of scale, right? It helps you scale efficiently. It helps you do more of the same thing. That's economies of scale. Mm-hmm. Economies of scope, less well known, says I'm going to do more of a similar thing. Okay. So the example I always used to use in my economics class, economies of scale, is I have a bicycle manufacturing facility. Economies of scale says I build a bigger facility and make more bicycles. Economies of scope says I build a bigger facility and now I build bicycles and unicycles. Unicycle is similar to a bicycle, but it is different. I need different tools. It's a slightly different market. It's similar. That's economies of scope. So my first question in your business now, let's bring it and land the plane, is this transition more of an economies of scale or an economies of scope, or, and it's not this, but the other option is saying it's a totally another business, right? Mm-hmm. So if you said, hey, I love this car detailing thing, but I'm thinking about starting a coffee shop.
Right, yeah.
That's not economies of scale or economies of scope. That's just you're doing something different, right? Mm-hmm. We're not building efficiency out from the things you already have. You're just doing another thing.
Okay.
Now, in this case, we're either dealing with economies of scale or economies of scope. And I want to answer the question slightly different based on how you answer, because the question is, okay, if you're going to sell business to business, this is great. There's a lot of advantage to that. Mm-hmm. Do you need different equipment? Do you need different skill sets? Or is it literally the same thing you're doing with business to customer, business to consumer, but you're doing it for more people? Does that make sense? How is business to business fleet washing? Is it different? Is it a different skill? Is it a different equipment? Or is it literally just more of the same?
I would say it's both.
It's both. So how is it different than what you're already doing?
So I think eventually we do want to go to B2B. You said economy scale, right? Is that what it's called? Economies
of scale, yeah.
Yeah. So, and what was the other one?
And then economies of scope.
I think we're doing economies of scope. We also want to do scale. It depends on where we're going, but our main vision eventually, months down the line, is to start branching out in different niches that are similar to the niche we're already in right now.
Perfect.
So we want to do things that are going to be recession-proof. So the headlights get foggy, right? And detailers actually help with that by doing a polish and stuff like that. And you could charge like $100 for a job like that, and it is recession proof because it's mandatory. It's unsafe to have foggy headlights. Mm-hmm. So we want to get into things like that, and we probably would have to buy different equipment and change different ways. I mean, it's a whole different skill because when you're polishing a car and the paint, it depends on how oxalated it is, and it's like I was talking to one of my trainers. His name's Frank. It's like different from doing headlights. So when we branch out into different forms of business in the kind of like the same niche though, but branched out.
It's kind of economies of scope.
Right.
So that's my question to you, Caden, is this B2B? Do you feel like it's just doing more of what you're already doing, or are you going to be doing something new for these businesses? And you answered me saying it's kind of both. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it's going to be the same. What are the new elements of B2B that you're not already doing? And that kind of determines the rest of my answer to your question.
Well, we already have the process for washing the exterior down, so that's nothing new to us. But we wanted to add on like these extra services like coatings and stuff, ceramic coatings. Get rid of dirt, water, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it could stay clean longer. So we're practicing on getting that down.
But that's a service you provide, not just B2B, right? Everybody would want ceramics from time to time.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're just kind of expanding your service base. Mm-hmm. You're not doing ceramic coatings now, but you're going to be doing them soon. Yeah. You're not doing headlights now, but you're going to be doing them soon. So you're making your service lists more robust.
Right.
But I don't think there's really much difference between doing B2B and doing business to customer, right? So it's really just a sales thing. It's do you have the relationships? That being the case, I say go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
B2B is great if you can get some fleets. You can get somebody that has 10 vehicles. You got some efficiencies there. It's really just economies of scale at that point. You're doing efficiency. You're gaining efficiency because you're doing more. So I love it. I'd say go for it.
Yeah, the thing that I like about businesses the most is because they have a membership with you, right? It's not just a one and done thing.
Yep.
So you get to stack these memberships and make more money every single month.
That makes your business more valuable to somebody that will eventually buy it. Makes it more valuable to you because you've got more consistent cash flow. You can make better predictions for hiring. I would say though, why not sell memberships to customers too?
Actually,
we're doing that right now.
Doing that already. Yeah. So memberships for businesses, memberships for customers. Yeah. Works great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And another thing that ties into my long-term plan is not only do we get business owners, but we get to network with them too.
Yeah.
And I get to talk and communicate with them. So that lowers the chance of ever being poor at all. You get to leverage the people around you.
Networking is such an important part of everything, right? Sales, business, learning, being able to have people that are resources when you have questions or needs. And then being able to refer other people, right? If you know a good painter and somebody's like, hey, do you know anybody that can paint? I've got an issue. And oh yeah, I know Joe the painter, right? And then you give them a business card. You look like the hero.
Yeah.
Right. So just networking in general is fantastic. I know you guys have been going to Link Up to Us and some other things. Those business relationships, they're so important. Yeah. For all business owners.
Actually, we met a car detailer there.
Oh, cool. And you said, watch out, we're coming for you?
What?
No, I'm kidding. Watch out, we're coming for you?
He's retired. We met up with him. We went to his house, and we're buying some of his equipment for
cool.
half the price of what it should be, and he's training us right now.
That's amazing. What an opportunity.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's crazy how much you just jump ahead from just networking. It takes years for people to get that experience and the equipment needed, and you can just jump past that with just talking to people, and it's great. And I think I heard this quote, it's like 90% of your net worth is your networking, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I do believe in that, because the information that we all that we receive is going to eventually be from somebody else. So we're passing it on to each other, and I think that the more and more we can take advantage of how I can give my knowledge to you and you can give your knowledge to me, it could be advantageous for both of us, and it helps us all out.
That's just exactly it. And you never want to be the guy in a networking circle that's always take.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The power and key to effective networking is give. And you let other people do the same, because the more you give, there's reciprocity.
Yeah.
The more you, and honestly, at the end of the day, give business or at least give people the chance at business.
Right.
this is what people want, right? So this is what you guys want ultimately, is like you want somebody to give you a job. You want people to pass you business. You want people to give you business opportunities. You want people to give you real estate opportunities. You want people to give you opportunities to make money.
Yeah.
So the best way to get people to give you opportunities to make money is to give them opportunities to make money. Because, a lot of networking is social and we enjoy each other and we're friends. But at the end of the day, business to business, we're all in this to try and make money, right? So if you're giving away opportunities to make money, then their people are going to reciprocate that. And that's why you need to know more about their business than the average person, so that you can refer them business.
Right.
This is where a good question asking comes in. Hey, tell me about your business. And then you get the reciprocity of that too. And they say, let me tell you about my business. And by the way, tell me about your business, right? And they know more about you. And then you get a little army of salespeople for free, because everybody's trying to support your business. And then you're part of their army of salespeople to support them.
Right.
Again, everybody helps everybody, and
Yeah.
it's a great system.
Like what you said about the reciprocity part, I was actually explaining that to him. So do you know Kelly?
Kelly, last name?
I forget her last name. She
she
works
was-
at ICCU.
Oh yeah, Kelly Cowell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one example of that would be we got gifts and stuff, and we put it in the front of her car after we detailed it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and she seemed like very enthusiastic, right?
Kelly's awesome.
Yeah, she is. And basically, I guess I could be a good example of reciprocity, because we were asking her if she wanted to come on our podcast and promote her business, right? And it would just be mutually beneficial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. In game theory is a subfield of economics that talks about how it's not just about games, but it's about war, it's about business, it's about how people make decisions in competitive environments. This is game theory. Game theory, some games are set up what they call zero sum, which for there to be a winner, there has to be a loser. Okay. And we assume oftentimes that most games are zero sum. If I'm going to succeed, it means you need to lose. And this is where competition can get unhealthy, especially in business.
Yeah.
But a lot of situations are not zero sum. Kelly can win and you guys can win, and you win together. This is the power of non-zero sum games. We get more on the outcome than what we put in the input.
Yeah.
Right? So very, very cool. What's your guys' podcast? I didn't know you guys were doing a podcast.
We're gonna
Oh
do
no,
it with
what you know?
Levin,
You,
yeah.
you did tell me.
Yeah.
You did tell me a little bit about it.
Eventually, we're gonna do that at Lexar. At least that's what Levin told me.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. I would love to be on the podcast and help out how I can.
Yeah, but I like how you said it, like about how the zero sum thing, where you don't have to always be enemies with people. You don't always have to be in competition. I was talking about my dad with that, because I'm like, detailing such a saturated market, like how do I eliminate competition? And he said, well, have you ever considered that maybe you can team up with your competition? You can refer each other. You could be allies with your competition. And I'm like, I never heard of that. And, I think it's a better thing to do when you're not enemies with everybody, because you put a target on your back as soon as you do that. As soon as you're in competition with somebody.
Yeah.
And then you never know. Maybe that competition, once you start treating them as an ally, might treat you as an ally too, and refer you to certain people that they don't want to do. Like, what if there's a detailing company that doesn't do trucks, right? And we do trucks. You're like, hey, I can refer you to these guys who do trucks if you can refer me to these guys who do vans. So that's kind of what my dad was saying. I do agree with that. I mean, before I had the mindset of just like crush all competition possible, but
Right.
As I grow up, I realized that why be somebody's enemy when you could be their friend.
This is really good. There's so much game theory here. We could do a whole class on game theory. After we're done with our accounting class, we could do a game theory class.
Yeah, we should.
Because what's interesting is you can get yourselves in what's called a prisoner's dilemma situation. I'm tempted to go into it right now, but I don't think I will. I'll tell you the moral of the story, because what ends up happening is that you think through competition, you're acting in your best interest. It's going to produce an outcome that's best for you. But what ends up happening is when both people act in their best interest, it ends up producing an outcome that's worse for both. So let's just use auto detailing. There's 2 auto detailers in the market, and you both badmouth each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, yeah, auto detailer B, they're not really that dependable. They don't do good work, and it just, yeah, I don't know that I would trust them. You should come work for you. Come have your car detailed with us. Now you've just tore their business down.
Right.
You've hurt their credibility. You've hurt the credibility of the industry. You've made them not trust that detailer.
Mm-hmm.
They say the same thing about you to somebody else. Now both of your businesses have been de-elevated, de-escalated.
Right.
They're both lower, and you both get less work. And now the whole community just thinks that all car detailers are scum.
Yeah.
So
Until
you tear the industry down,
Right.
right? Rather than, what if you both encourage each other and say, hey, yeah, car detailer B, they're great guys over there. We provide a very similar service, but you know what? Car detailing is super important. And whether you go there or go here, you're going to get great service. This is maybe one distinction that we do a little different, but honestly, just go with your gut and do what feels right, or whatever you end up saying. But you build it up. And if you're both building up, now it's like, okay, no, these are good people. Car detailers are trustworthy. You're both going to be able to charge higher prices. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, both of you are going to do better
Right.
by not looking out for quote unquote number one. So it raises the whole system.
Right. And also just like for the A and B, they're beefing with each other. Like, what if like business C comes up and they're like the only ones that doesn't have a bad review? So it's just like,
exactly.
Yeah, it's good.
So, and it's good to just remember about industries too, right? If you're constantly undercutting each other's price, for example, let's say there's only 2 auto detailers in town, again, for simplicity of the model, and you cut prices under them by 10%. Then they cut prices under you by 10%. And then you cut prices under them. But now you're making half of what you should have been making. And that's the bare bones minimum of what you make. And you both hit an equilibrium of you're both charging not what you should be charging.
Right.
Versus staying true to the price, not trying to undercut each other, but just staying true to what the price should be. It helps the whole industry, right? We call it like respecting the industry. You don't want to, especially when you're new and starting out, right? You guys are young guys. You could probably do this cheaper than what a lot of the seasoned pros are doing it for and make good money for a 17-year-old. But it's actually not good for the industry. Right? If the going rate for a car detail is $400, you should charge $400, and then you should do the service at a professional level.
Right.
You don't want to be the kids that come in and say, I'll do it for $200. Because maybe you're fine with that right now, but when you've got employees and full tax burden and a shop and everything else, it's got to be $400 or you're not going to make any money.
Well, you also
and
look
all
cheap
you did,
too.
you look cheap, you hurt the industry, you stole business from somebody else, you made somebody expect the price to be $200, and now it's your turn to charge $400 because you've been in the business for a while, and you can't because you ruined the market, you ruined the industry. And so everybody that's in an industry has to pay, like, has to charge the fair price for the industry to keep the industry healthy.
Right.
Because we're an ecosystem and we live together in this industry, and we don't want to cheapen it.
Interesting.
I'm watching my video guy nod over there. I think their light bulb just went on there as well. I love it.
So my question is, for going back to operations,
Okay.
I want to do like financial operations. So we kind of get overwhelmed with the finance side. Of course, we're taking your course on the spreadsheet and everything and profit and loss sheets. But we're kind of like, since we're so like, our business is so young, we kind of we need to know like the principles. Like, what would you say the founding principles for financial operations, financial systems, and how we should go about our ways with money?
That is such a good question. That does not have a simple answer.
Okay.
But some basic principles are, you need to know what your numbers are. Okay, so this is the first thing. And you need, the numbers need to be accurate, they need to be timely, and they need to be helpful. Okay, accurate means that when you do look at your numbers in whatever form, whether that's spreadsheets or QuickBooks or anything else, they need to be true. Because if I look at a set of books and I don't even know if this is right, and believe me, people get in this situation, their QuickBooks become so messy that they can't trust it. It's not accurate. Their bank accounts are not reconciled. They have ghost transactions. They've got checks that aren't cleared, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I've been doing taxes and accounting for years. I see these messes come into my office. And they'll have 2 years of financial statements, and they'll show me, like, I don't even know if this is true or not. You got to clean it up. It's bad,
Yeah.
right? So the first thing, make sure your numbers are accurate. If you can't make your numbers accurate, hire somebody to do it, okay? Number 2, it needs to be timely. And this is the next thing, is people think that I can just get all my numbers together at the end of the year and have my CPA do my tax return, and that's good enough. And it's good enough for tax returns, but don't you want to know how things are going through the year so that you can
Right.
make course corrections?
Right. Because
Right.
every little financial mistake or advantage is going to
Multiply.
multiply. It's going to compound off of each other.
And that's just it, is you won't see those mistakes.
Right.
You won't see those advantages. You won't see if you need to make pricing adjustments. You won't know if you can afford to buy a piece of equipment. You won't know if you can afford to hire a person. You won't see inefficiencies. I mean, all this stuff, it needs to be timely. So you should have some sort of financial report every single month, at least every single quarter, but ideally every single month. And then the last piece, so timely, accurate, and then they need to be useful. And this is the other thing I see people do is they get their financial reports, but they don't really know what they mean. They're not designed in a helpful way. Make your reports useful so that they actually tell you something so that you can make decisions based on them. Right? Now, a lot of times bookkeeping is a little bit based on a personality. If people really like that stuff, then I would say it might be worth investing in becoming a bookkeeper yourself. If you really, really hate it, it's probably good to just hire a bookkeeper right out of the gate. The other side of this, though, is you guys are so young and you want to be serial entrepreneurs. You want to do this a lot of times. I might say go ahead and take the time to actually learn this right.
Yeah. I'm always interested in numbers.
So, I mean, it's a skill. You will never be sad that you learned actual bookkeeping as a skill. And do the bookkeeping for your new car detailing business. And again, it'll be a pain. You're not good at it. You don't know a lot about it. But if you can figure it out this time, you can do it every other time.
Right.
You can hire bookkeepers better. You can know what the bookkeepers are saying. You guys are young enough and smart enough. It might be worthwhile just to take the time to figure out your own bookkeeping.
And you would think, like, because the detailing business might be a lot more simple.
A detailing business is going to be a lot more simple.
Yeah,
You're
and
not
it's
going
just
to deal with...
it's going to give us fundamentals and principles early
Yes.
on.
So some principles that you're going to want, some other really basic principles. This is so important. If you haven't done this already, you need to do this immediately, is that you never mix business and personal money.
Okay, yeah.
You need a business account.
We're guilty
we
of that.
got to cut the McDonald's.
And so once you have a business bank account and a business credit card, those two things are only used for business stuff.
Right.
And then your personal money is only used for personal stuff.
Right.
Now, what I want to clarify with this is it's okay to spend your business money on personal things, but you need to transfer it out of your business account into your personal account and then spend it. Because the business is your business and is your money, right? So let's say you need $1,000, even just for rent, okay? Don't write a business check for rent. That makes things convoluted and confusing.
Right.
But what you can do is do an owner's draw, take $1,000 out of the business and put it in your personal account. That's a draw.
Yeah.
Then write your rent check. You need to keep your business and your personal money separate.
Okay.
And then if your business runs out of money and it's like, hey, we just have had a bad couple of months and we really need to buy these supplies, don't just spend it with your personal account. Take money from your personal account, put it in the business. That's an owner contribution. And then make the business spend the money on the supplies. Do you see the difference?
Right. Because I'm assuming it's good for taxes. It's good for
It's really good for record keeping.
record. Okay.
That's the most important thing, and it keeps it clean. It keeps your accounting clean. So if there's one thing I would tell all business owners right out of the gate is only spend business money on business things and only spend personal money on personal things. And then transfer money back and forth. If either side, if personal money runs low, transfer some business money to your personal, then spend it. If business money runs low, transfer money from your personal to business and then spend it. But don't just say, oh, my business account is low, so I'm going to buy this with my personal debit card. See what I'm saying?
Right.
That is 101. and it'll save you 1,000 inconveniences later to do it that way.
Yeah, we gotta get on that.
So get a business account set up, get QuickBooks set up. You're gonna have to just learn how to use it, and it's gonna be a pain at first, but eventually it'll become second nature. And honestly, most of your small businesses will probably end up using QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just get QuickBooks going and start learning how to use it. And even if you use a different accounting software later, QuickBooks will teach you the foundation of accounting principles. QuickBooks Online. So QuickBooks Online is the one you want. And there's different tiers of it. Start with the cheapest tier until there's something you can't do on that tier, then pay for more. But usually QuickBooks Essentials, especially for a basic business like yours, will be all you need.
Right.
But they have QuickBooks Pro, QuickBooks blah, blah, blah. I mean, buy the cheapest one and then just use the cheap one until you can't do something, and then get a nicer one if you need it.
Yeah. And something interesting about all this financial advice is we can dive into this and Kaden can explain it. So another thing I wanted to, I guess not really a question, but more of like just something interesting that we're trying to do right now is my friend, he's building like this AI calculator for accounting, and like there's so much nuances to your spending and all the things that we can, as simple humans, can miss. That's the point of his calculator. I don't, Kaden, do you want to explain it more?
Well,
he knows it more than me.
I mean, I'm just mainly doing it as a side project because I want to take what I learned from you and then put it into something that is usable.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So basically the way I got the idea for this was because I made a calculator for video trajectory. And so you'd put in all the data from your videos and it would see where it could potentially take off. And then you
What
could...
videos?
Like on YouTube, social media.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a few different modes that could go on it. You could just do single videos, or you could have like all videos accumulated, like what's the trajectory of your channel? Yeah, what do you need to do to optimize it? What time?
Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, there's just so many aspects to it. Basically what I figured out is by taking different equations and metrics and putting them together, you could get something that gives a specific output, and from that output, that will basically give you the information you need to make a certain move.
Yeah, I love it. So where I would put the point of clarity is that AI, at least at this stage, will be very good for analysis, but not good for the actual record keeping or bookkeeping. Okay, so you're going to need both. You're going to need to learn to do the record keeping, bookkeeping part yourself, or you're going to need to hire somebody to do it. And then you can bring AI in to say, hey, here's my transactions, here's my profit and loss, here's my balance sheet.
Yeah.
Tell me 4 helpful ratios that I might not have thought of and what the implications of them are.
Sure.
And then here's the 3 decisions I'm trying to make based on the information you told me. What would be your advice?
That's exactly what I'm trying to get out of
So
the financial.
AI is amazing. It's great at stuff like this, but it garbage in, garbage out. So AI is only going to be as good as the data you feed it. It's not going to be good, at least at this moment. I mean, AI is getting better every day. But you couldn't, in my opinion, I don't think AI is anywhere close to being able to say, for example, give it a bank statement and say, hey, I want you to categorize all these transactions and put them into QuickBooks. And then, like, I think a human still needs to do the actual record keeping part and use that human intelligence in the record keeping. But AI would be really good at the analysis.
Yeah.
Especially as you guys get better at analysis, because again, AI does its best work when there's human intelligence combined with it to help guide its intelligence.
Yeah.
So AI amplifies whatever it's given. If you give it good information and good prompts and good tools, and it will create something amazing. But if you give it too much leash and too much open-endedness, it creates what we call AI slop.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
And AI slop is saying if you leave it too open-ended, it just guesses, fills in a blank, guesses, fills in a blank, and it's not good. So be careful of AI slop in accounting as well. There's a possibility there. But yeah, dude, you guys are so young at this point too, and I'm even so young. Like, if we don't figure out ways to leverage AI in our businesses, we're going to be left behind.
Right.
I've got a lot of opinions about AI, probably for another day.
Yeah.
But I would say, as a general principle, you should be playing with it. You should be experimenting with it. You should be trying to use it, but don't ever let it be a crutch yet. And there, in my opinion, there's certain things that AI will probably not be able to do for a long time. Like, people are acting like AI is going to be able to do everything in 2 or 3 years. Some of the predictions people are making that are going to happen in 2 or 3 years, I think, are more like 10 or 15 years out, personally. So again, I'm not like, I do think AI is going to be an amazing thing, but I still think that there's certain people that are leaning on it too much, and it's creating slop work, slop answers, slop inputs,
I
and
agree.
it's not going to, if you rely on it that way, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I think
I didn't plan on completely relying on it. I mean, first, like, you feed it the data, which is just pure logic, and then you, after going through all the math equations and stuff, then it'll analyze it further.
Yeah, I'm not discouraging you at all. Do it. You should be. Yeah.
And actually,
Do it.
You don't even need AI too. Like, for my video thing, it worked really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent of just experimenting with it and finding value, and
Yeah.
any edge you can get in business right now. I mean, this has always been true, but it's just
Right.
AI is a new edge. And if you can use it better than other people, you're going to have an advantage and you're going to make more money.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I normally use my AI bots for just information. Other than that, I don't really use it. I've read some articles on AI psychosis, so
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
terrifies me.
I think we're so early in AI.
Yeah.
I don't think we fully have wrapped our head around the
Right.
dangers and risks. I don't think we've fully wrapped our head around the benefits. And I don't think we fully wrapped our head around the limitations.
Right.
It's kind of scary, isn't it?
It's very, I'm not scared about it, honestly. But again, that's because I have certain assumptions built in that I think other people don't. I think that human intelligence is more than just large language models.
Right.
I think that there's something to our existence that's a self that goes beyond just, like, our brains are not just big computers, but the large language models are just big computers. We have a will, we have creativity. There's something that makes you you. Like, you are different than, you.
Yeah.
You guys are different people.
Yeah.
You're not copies of each other, right? Where AI, like, there's some very fundamental differences between human intelligence, and again, we call it artificial intelligence. And somehow people are forgetting the word artificial, and they say it's just intelligence. It's not. It's not. Artificial intelligence is not human intelligence. It's mimicking human intelligence, and it's getting darn good at it.
Yeah.
Which makes us think it's alive, which makes it think it's like a human, but it's not. And the gaps, when you press it, are still very, very clear, in my opinion. So a lot of what I say when people are overly optimistic about AI, you got me on an AI rant now. A lot of what I say is just, I'll believe it when I see it. And again, a lot of the predictions people are making are probably going to end up true, but I think the timeline is probably a lot longer than what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my 2 cents. Well, I don't even know if we'll keep that in there, Marcos, but
Yeah.
that's my sense on AI.
Yeah.
Controversy is good. You guys want to go down one more kind of line of question, coaching, reasoning, or you have a lot more? What are you thinking?
I have a few more questions. I'm trying to remember. This is just like a really basic question.
Sure.
I think a lot of people probably would ask this question. If you were in our position right now, if you were like 17 again, what would you do differently than what you did when you were 17? And what kind of life lessons would you want to learn during that time?
Great question. So are you saying if I was 17 in the
Right.
year 2026, or if I was 17 again in the year whatever I was when I was 17? Because that changes the answer pretty substantially.
That does. I would say just
2026.
We'll just say 2026. Let's
Okay,
just
so
say that you transferred into my body right
I
now.
transferred to you and it was you, so
Okay. Yeah.
I would not do college.
Okay.
Unless I had a very specific interest in something like becoming a doctor or something where you absolutely can't evade the system. But if I had any interest in anything technology, entrepreneurship, business, marketing, I would just learn on my own. I wouldn't do college. So I would be learning, I would learn sales. I would really I would either get a sales job I mean, selling Cutco, selling something, or even something entrepreneur like you guys are doing.
Right.
But I would really sharpen my sales ability, because that will transfer to everything for the rest of life. And I would start businesses, small businesses, just like you're doing. I would learn how businesses work, and just try to grow my knowledge and my network of business right out of the gate. So sales and entrepreneurship, I just put all my energy into that and try and create value in the world, and sell that value for more than it cost me to create it. I would definitely dive into AI as much as possible. I would just really commit myself to learning that, to try and get a competitive edge on anybody else. And yeah, that'd probably be my main pillars.
Yeah, that's good. It's kind of what I've been told by other people as well. Just like very similar. I find that interesting. What would you say, like, I'm sure you made some mistakes in your life. What would you say something that you wish you knew beforehand, like maybe when you were younger, how to avoid those mistakes? Like, how do you, if you had to like have 3 years to build a network of like $3 million, what would you do differently than you did like when you were younger, knowing the knowledge you have now?
I would be less afraid to ask for help, and ask for things, even loans, resources, advice. I would just be really bold, if I could go back, in asking for help sooner. That takes a lot of confidence and being secure in yourself. But I would just be willing, especially when I was young, to ask for help. And I would also probably just be more okay with rejection and people saying no to me. You're going to get a lot of no's, and that slows a lot of people down because it shakes your self-confidence. It makes you doubt your decisions, doubt your whatever. This is why sales is so important, because you get a lot of no's before you get the yeses.
Yeah.
But especially if you wanted to go your quickest route to $3 million, you're going to need some help, and you're like even financial help,
Right.
because no bank's going to give you money.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you're going to leverage into $3 million, you're going to need some money from someone. So that means you're going to need to ask someone for money. And a lot of people are going to tell you no. So you go to some people that you consider to be successful and be like, hey, I've got this idea. I want to make this investment and I need $100,000. And they'll be like, get out of here, kid. That's going to tear you down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you really want to make it, you're going to need to ask anyway, and you're going to need to be used to getting told no a lot without it shaking your confidence, and still keep going forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a point where you just become numb to it, right?
I haven't hit that point.
Really?
No, it's still hard to hear no, right? And it still shakes your confidence. But that's why I say, like, if I go back, I'd be better at it. I think I'm getting better at it. I think I've gotten a lot better at it. And just asking for bigger favors, asking for bigger asks, even from people, connections, like asking for help, like, hey, would you sit down with me for an hour and help me do this thing? Right? Like, they might say no. A lot of times they'll say yes, right? Would you partner with me on this project? I found this investment. I think it could be a good investment. Would you partner with me on this?
Right.
Right? Trying to get into partnerships with big players earlier. Bringing real value, right? Develop yourself so that you're bringing real value to the partnership, but then try to get in some big deals.
Yeah.
Right? Try to get in big deals early. And the sooner you can start getting in some deals, the sooner you can start multiplying towards that $3 million number.
Yeah. No, I love that advice. I was telling Caden maybe about a week ago, like, if we never had the confidence to go talk to, like, almost all these people that are the networking group, people that we know in general, we would have never been in this position in the first place. Like, 'cause we're like we're getting more material. We're figuring out things quicker than what we should. I mean, we're probably would have been like months behind if we never built up the courage to do that. And even with my other business, my lawn care business, if I never had the courage to do door to door, I would maybe only make $100 a week versus like 1,000. And I think that's really good advice, because I've noticed that my success has been really built off of just the no's and then figuring out how I'm gonna get the yeses. So yeah, that's good.
I heard another popular YouTuber say something like, if you knew that you were going to get one yes for every 9 no's that you said that you got, you'd be more aggressively getting through those no's so that you could get to the yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I've seen that one,
But this whole thing is a game of statistics. You will get yeses
Numbers game,
eventually.
yeah.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Right? We just don't, it just doesn't convert to exactly 9 no's and then bing, a yes.
That's exactly what we were saying in the lawn care business. We're like,
Yeah, it's
this
a
is
numbers game. We hyped ourselves up. I think I bought the boys some lunch at McDonald's. I'm like, this is a numbers game, boys. We gotta get it. Let's go get it out there. And then, sure enough, like a day later, we got, I don't know, 9 clients in a day.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like,
amazing.
200 doors.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yep.
Yeah.
Sales is a numbers game. So you guys are on a great track. You're going to get a lot of edge just because you're young. People will treat you better.
Yeah. I wonder why we were noticing that.
Ride that wave as long as you can because it's rare. Like there's not a lot of 17-year-olds that are doing what you guys are doing.
Really?
Maybe 1 in 100. Like you're a 1%er right now. So when people see that young people are taking initiative and working hard, like they want to support it. They want to, they want to support that. So it might be a little different when you're 26, but you guys are starting so young that by the time you're 26, you'll have learned all the lessons that you need to learn anyway. Right.
Yeah.
So keep going. You guys are doing it awesome. You're killing it. This has been honestly one of my favorite podcasts so far. You guys have been amazing. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Adam. Yeah.
I'd love to bring you guys back on in a few months or 6 months or something and see how things are going and do some more coaching.
Yeah.
So thank you both. You guys are both awesome. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if people want to find your stuff, either your businesses or social medias or anything, how can people find more of your guys' stuff?
We're going to start posting soon, but you can contact my phone number at 509-518-2754.
And our business is Allied Detailing.
Mm-hmm.
Allied Detailing.
Allied Detailing.
Yeah, living up the Allied Automotive name.
Thanks for checking out this podcast. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps us out as content creators. I'm Adam Diaz, and I have nearly 20 years experience building, selling, and advising small businesses. Welcome to this channel. I'm going to be doing videos and content on everything business strategy, business finance, and business leadership. This isn't pie in the sky theory. This is real life. How do I make my business run successfully? A lot of us go into business because we're passionate about something. I'm passionate about making businesses work. You've come to the right place, and you're going to get a lot of content on this channel about how to grow your business and make it more successful.